Hi, welcome back. Azar here. Let's jump into a Rhino command that I think people aren't using a lot, so I want to share it with you. It's new in Rhino 8. It's FilletSrfCrv, and honestly, I hadn't come across it in a while, and when I did, I realized, wow, this is super powerful. What it does is it allows you to blend a curve with a surface. Now, usually that's been a bit of a pain. You got to trace out where on the surface you'd want that merge place to be, or you have to run something like blend surface, which means first you got to create a surface from this curve, and then you could probably use a gumball and make something like this and then blend that with the box. This removes all of that. This very quickly just allows you to create a fillet between them that is at least a good start. Even if a fillet isn't exactly what you're looking for, it's a great way to just be able to at least blend the two together, right? So to run that, I just made my life a little bit easier, and I made an alias, which is the letter F, which for me is usually full screen, but for this tutorial, I changed it to FilletSrfCrv. So if I type in F and then the spacebar, it's going to run that command. So what is this asking me? It's asking me select a surface and then select a curve, and it's going to run this. Now, this looks a little dark. I have a slight visual bug going on here, so I'll go to my pen view, and you can see that a lot easier. And you get this little menu here that allows you to set the radius of what that fillet is. Of course, you can't extend the fillet beyond the edge of the surface that you're blending with, but if you choose a reasonable amount, you'll see that you very quickly created a surface that blends between this surface up to the curve. Right, I'm choosing a G2 blend at the moment, but you guys can mess around with some of the other options. Also, what it does is it goes in and trims that surface. Notice that I can actually see behind into here, so that works out really well. In fact, it works pretty nice with curves, and this curve is just a complete translation of the surface. But even if that curve was at an angle, let's see what happens. So again, F, select the surface, select the curve, and again, you can see that it is developing that fillet just like this. So you can see that that's the kind of shape that it created right there. Pretty neat, right? Now that works really well with clean rounded curves. Let's see what happens with a rectangle. So again, F, select the surface, select the rectangle, and it's a big hot mess, right? And you may be thinking, okay, well, how would I fix this? What if I really wanted a rectangle to blend really well with the surface behind? I'm going to hit cancel on here. And one option you can try is just fillet the corners. So there's actually a command called fillet corners. You can use that on any polycurve, and it will fillet those corners up, and you can see clearly just by looking at the control points what I've got here. Let's try this one. So again, F, surface, curve, and you see that, hey, that works. And if I make that radius on the end small enough, maybe it will be as close to a rectangle as I need it to be. But here's the issue. Even if I click OK, you'll notice that there is some part of this artifact that just isn't looking so good. If I zoom in over here, you'll see what I mean. Here, you get some nasty bit of surface here. If you were trying to 3D print this, good luck, right? This is not fun. All right, so what can you do in this case? Well, there is a little bit of a fix. So what I've got here is the exact same curve, except this time I'm just going to rebuild it. R-E-B-U-I-L-D, rebuild. Okay, and if you haven't used rebuild before, basically it is exactly what it says it is. It can do it for surfaces and it can do it for curves. It just rebuilds that curve with a set of control points that you give it. All right, I'm going to delete the input as well, so when the new curve is created, I don't have confusion between the new one and the old one. And what you really want to do is just adjust this point count here. So if I zoom in, you'll see that there's purple line. For me, select is purple. So purple is the new geometry that's going to show up. And you can see that there's a little bit of a delta, right? Like there's not a 100% match. It's going to be close enough to the original curve, but not exactly. The more points you add, the closer it will be. But for this tutorial, I'm just going to leave it at 25. And there we go. Now I have the rebuilt curve. In fact, if I click it, you'll see that its control points are completely different. And if I run that F command again, select the surface, select the curve, look at that. That's a lot cleaner, right? Compared to the last one, which had all those weird things happening in the corner. This one is a lot cleaner, a lot smoother. Yeah, this one you can definitely work with. The other really cool thing about this is that so far I've just been showing you planar curves, right? Curves that themselves are just flat. But what if I took a curve like this? Let me turn control points on and take some of these and push them back, or take some of these and I'll push them towards us, and just try to see what happens if I was to change this up a little bit, right? So now let's try rebuild. Oh, so not rebuild. The fillet one again. Select the surface, select the curve, and let's see what happens. It's thinking. Let's go back to that other view. Okay, close. It's having a little bit of an issue. Oh, wow. It's running real slow on my computer. There's a lot of math happening here just by moving those control points a little bit. So be careful if you are going to use a slightly more complicated curve. So it is possible. It is going to take a little bit more effort. Like I'm trying to fine tune this and find just that right radius here. But it is possible, right? So you can do that. I'm just going to hit OK at the next available opportunity. So I get out of that command. And it looks like it did break a little bit of that surface, but it is possible. You can see that it did blend between this surface and there. So technically I could cap this back off. Open poly surface. Yeah. Oh, interesting. It actually combines these two. Weird. All right. Now I'm going to be in a debugging hunt over here. Some of you are probably like, okay, is this part of the plan? No, this is definitely not part of the plan. There we go. Try that. Trim that with this. Does that work? No, I got to run. You guys are probably thinking, what is Uzzer doing? Let's see. And oh, there's an interesting thing here. Look at that little curve there. Maybe that's kind of where the trouble is right here. Anyway, I did kind of trim that part out just for my own purpose there, just to make sure that I could do that. Yep. So the reason I did that also is just to make sure that this surface is actually sticking all the way onto that source surface that we started with, that there wasn't some kind of waviness happening over there. So that border is perfectly flat, which is why I was able to trim it out of this part over here. So yeah, that's FilletSrfCrv. There's also just fillet surface, which is super useful, but I didn't want to cover that here. It's similar to fillet edge, but it works, from one surface to another. Really great. But yeah, if you want to try this out, go ahead. That's how, like in the thumbnail, that little guy over there, that's how I made it. I just made a bunch of shapes and I used FilletSrfCrv and I joined them all together and I just did an offset surface. That's basically how I got this. So yeah, try it out yourselves. Let me know if you find it useful in a project. And if you want to go further, don't forget to take my free training below, 20 tips to model twice as fast in Rhino and Grasshopper. And if you're serious about getting better, I run a small live coaching cohort where you bring your projects, we look at your workflow, and we fix what's slowing you down in real time in a small group. If that sounds like what you need, then there's a short application linked below in the description. Just takes 2 minutes to fill out. It's not for everyone, but if you're serious about improving, it might be for you. Well, that's it for me. I'll see y'all in the next video. Thanks.